This is Raza and you're my channel Science Innovation Tech. Today we will be discussing the Excel function aggregate, how this function can be used and how it will work. We'll be understanding. Let's suppose we have a data like this. We want to sum this one, like I've summed this subtotals and the same I've did the sum, but it's not working. Why? Because in this column, in that row number 7, there is an error due to which it cannot sum. So how we could solve this problem and how we'll be summing it without deleting this error or doing anything with it. So for that we will be using aggregate function. So aggregate have many things. So in Excel, the aggregate first start with a function. That function might be, there are 19 functions. Let me show you. For example, this is aggregate, and now see, these are the functions: the average, count, this is variance, and this is going down here is large, small, and this quartile, percentile. These are 19 functions. In aggregate we could do it. So for example, I want to sum, so I'll be using 9. After that I'll be giving a comma, and after a comma there are another 7 options in which you need to ignore the nested subtotal and aggregate function, and then a hidden row, a nested sum, and ignore the error, and going down to option number 7. So these are the options in which you can do it. After that, there is an array which you give the selection area which you want to give, or you might give a reference. So this aggregate function works like that. So like here, this is function name. You could do a sum, you could do a count, you could take an average, you can do whatever you want to do. And then options, in option you to ignore error, ignore a hidden row, ignores the subtotals. And like here we are summing this, but it's not working. Why? Because there is an error options here, so that's why it's not working. If I use aggregate function, aggregate, and then I'll use a sum and then a comma, and I'll ignore the hidden or error value, or ignore the error value, whatever you want. So if I use this comma and then this array, if I'm going to sum it, it will work. Here I did not give the option number 2, so if I use it now, see, it's working. So first, you can do anything with it. You can also use average on it. For example, I'll just use the average. In average, after average I'll ignore the error, and then the range, if I take this average, and it will be like this. You can also use a count instead of average. For count you can use this 2 options. Count, it is 2 because here is this text, so it will ignore this one and it give us 2, because if I'll use a count a, then it will consider this as well. So this is about the aggregate function. You can use in a different way. So if I want to use here also aggregate and then a sum and then ignore error value or whatever you want, you can give. So if this is the range and sum, now see, it's working. So this is all about the aggregate function in Excel which we'll be using.